So we have two databases here. The first is clients. We have three databases. The first is clients, projects, and the tasks database. Now what we want is we related the clients database to the projects database, and the projects is related to the task database. Now what we want is when we add a task related to this project, we want the client property here to show the correct client, which is the project's client. So let's see how to do that. So first I'll just add a button for this. So let's see what we can call that button add task. And what we want is we want to add a page to the task database. Let's go tasks name. Let's say okay, we don't know direct name, just leave it the way it is. Next, the project is this page. You can save that, and now you can see if we add a task, it gets added here, and let's just call it task. So this is related to project 1, and what we want is let's choose some client for this project. Let's say client 1, project is client 2. So now we want, so we know the project of this task. We want the client to also shown here. But what happens is if you have a normal relation property like this, and that is connected to clients, let's call it client. We don't want to show it in the client database, so just off this, and you can add relation. And now what happens is we have a client relation, but we only want the client to be the project's client and not anything else. So, but if we click this, we'll see the list of all the clients and not just the project's clients. So as of now, we don't have any conditional list for Notion. Like we don't have a conditional list. So based on another property, you cannot create a custom list or have a conditional list. So what we can do instead is we can directly automate this so that directly chooses the project's project one, the client of the project one, or the project's client automatically. So to do that, we can go to this button automation which is created here. You can click this button. You can edit the button so that the client is automatically edited when creating the task itself. So we'll click this client. So what we can do is we can go to custom formula, and here it should be this page, that is the project page dot client. It is this. It is a simple thing. So now client, what happens is when you click add task, the client page is automatically filled. So let's call this task 2. So the client page is automatically filled. You don't have to manually choose it. So this is the client page of the project 1. So this is how it is. You can just choose client 1 here. So this works for other projects also. If you add a task under project 2, and you can just see that the client page is automatically added here. That is the solution. That is the automation we have here using the button thing. Using the button property, we can do that. Let's name this task 3. Now this is one way that you can add a button for it. The another solution for this is if you don't want to use buttons, you want to only show this client and you don't want to be able to choose any other client. So the another solution for that is you can use a formula property. So I'll just show how. So create a formula, and let's call it project client, or let's call it project client. So now what this does is, this is a non-editable property which returns the same page here, but it is from a formula. So how we can do that is, this is the formula. So we want the projects database. So we want the projects relation. So we'll take the projects in the project relation, and for each project, or there is only going to be one project, so dot map. So we'll use the map thing here, and we're going to use the current, that is the current project, dot client. So this will bring up the client or the client of the project. So as of now, this is a list of blocks. So we want only one thing. So instead of the project page there, we'll have a client instead of that project. So that is what map does. So we have the client of the project. So now this is a list. So let's use dot up so that it gives the page itself. So now this is another thing. So this is a list of lists. So we just show here. This is first list. So if we remove this add, you can see it is a list of lists. The first list is for all the projects, and the second list is for the client list of each of the projects. So we have two lists here. So we have to use the at 01 2 times here, the first element. So at 01 at 01, so that this returns only the client page, and you can directly use this client page to access other properties. just show that here. And yeah, so that is how it is. So we get the client page directly here. So instead of manually choosing it, you can just directly have a formula property, so that you don't even have to do this. You can just use this. And okay, so now what is the what do you do with this? So let's just hide this for a moment. So at relation, you can just hide this in the view. Okay, now we have this thing. So now say we have other properties in this client database. Say we have something called let's say email, or we have some email here, and let's call this client at email.com, and let's just use that. Let's just okay, now we have the email of the client. Now what we want is, using this relation here, what we can do is we can dynamically switch the email of the client with the task, so that it will be helpful when we are trying to do the task. So for that we can use another formula property, and in this formula we are going to call this as client email. So now we can use this property here, this property of projects client property, to get the email of the client. So we can use that as projects client. So that is a property we just created, and you can just directly access its properties using the dot notation. So you can call it email, and you can get the email of the client like that. And now we can see you got the email here. So this is how we can use this type of formula property here, so that you can directly get the client of the project without having to manually choose the client from the relation. You can use a formula property for that to create this, and then you can directly access the client's properties in other formulas using this formula we just created. So that is what this video is about. Thank you for watching.